In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the strat I use personally on a daily basis to farm every single day. And in the live attacks, I'm pulling off some of the biggest loot I've had so far at Town Hall 11. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, what's up guys, it's Jsmith Gaming here. Hope you guys are having a great day. In today's video, we're covering something very exciting. It is a Town Hall 11 farming strategy, and as you can see, this is what the troop composition does look like. It's primarily giants with some healers to back it up, and some things that you can change around here. You can change around what you get in the wall wrecker. Not everyone does have access to the wall wrecker. That's why I also bring wall breakers and a jump spell. Primarily the wall breakers to just break in the base for my giants, and then the jump spell to jump in and go through multiple compartments. So I don't have max troops, but this army composition does work great. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down 2 replays, and then we're going to be doing live attacks for the rest of the video. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something, please leave a like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get into that first replay. Alrighty, so some things to consider when we're looking at this army composition. So we're going to be using the baby dragons primarily to just go ahead and create the funnel for the giants. And when it comes to the wall breakers, they aren't as useful for when you do have a wall breaker, but when you don't have access to one, I definitely recommend using one. That or super wall breakers, maybe add a little bit more in there. Or what they are is they are helpful on the back end when maybe the giants are clearing the back end side of the base, or just the remaining troops you have. So first step in this entire process is to identify, of course, a good base. So I typically shoot for bases with over 500,000 of my desired resource, or a couple thousand dark elixir, ideally 5k plus. And so what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to identify, okay, that's where the dark elixir is, that's what I want the most here. So I'm going to be clearing the best path there. So what I'm going to do is first things first, place it on the giants to go ahead and start tinking up some of the defenses. And then after they have been deployed, I'm going to go ahead and place down the baby giants to go ahead and help funneling. So what you can do is you can supplement the baby wizards funneling with some wizards to go ahead and help you push into the base and just really create that wide funnel so that way your heroes can go ahead and go inside. So as you can see, putting all the heroes down, putting the warden down a little bit earlier, so that way they can go ahead and just soak up some extra damage and just provide my troops a little bit more of a barrier. And so something I would recommend is dropping that poison down a little bit earlier, because at this point I've realized that the clan castle is not coming out. So at this point it's just a good idea to go ahead and put it down on the put the poison down on the enemy queen. And so as you guys can see, I do prefer to put some freezes in the clan castle. And so what I typically do is I either freeze the multi-infernos that are hitting a lot of the troops, or I like to freeze single infernos that lock on my heroes. As you can see, I didn't freeze this single inferno in time. It does lock onto my king, and it does take it down. And when it comes to using your heals and rages accordingly, so I typically like to heal in the cores of the base, because that's where a lot of the splash damage is, as well as the multi-infernos are, especially when it comes to these farming bases. I like to use my jumps to basically guide my giants into the desired compartment where I want them to go. And so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit, because after that core is basically done, that's where you've already gotten the majority of the resources. And now what's going to happen is I do recommend saving a couple wizards or a couple archers to pretty much just help you clean up on the rest of the base. If you can keep your queen up and a lot of your giants up just with the healers after you've cleared out the core, your success rate will go up immensely, and you'll clear out and just get a whole lot more loot than you would typically if they die early on. So on the second base, as you can see, we are going against a dead base, and you can tell that by all of the expos being out of ammo, as well as the dead infernos and the eagle artillery. So what that means is most of the resources are in these elixir collectors and the gold mines over here. So instead of really aiming for the storages, so entering from the bottom pretty much, what I'm going to do is cater and pretty much plan my attack closer to the gold mines and the elixir collectors. So I'm going to attack from the top left here, and the reason being I picked the top left rather than the top right is just because I could get more of the dark elixir collectors on this side of the base. So what I'm going to do first is first things first, I'm going to go ahead and place down some of these giants just to go ahead and soak up some of the damage, and then I put both of my baby dragons on either side just to go ahead and start creating that wide funnel. As you can see, supplementing the funnel with some of the wizards as well. And then what I'm going to do here is I am going to drop an early heal just because there was a lot of damage here as well as splash damage. And so something that's very important is not to drop your heroes until the funnel is 100% made. You don't want your heroes to walk here, especially in this type of raid, just because you're going to lose a lot of value. And so also a quick tip when it comes to dead bases is I definitely recommend saving a couple wizards for the back end so that way you can snipe off some of the storages, I mean not the storages, but the gold mines and the elixir collectors when all the defenses have gone down. Maybe your troops haven't really gone where they wanted them to go. So as you can see, I dropped a rage here and a heal. The rage I like to put down usually when there's a lot of high HP buildings or if there's just a lot of damage there and I want the troops to go ahead and go by. And I typically drop heals just when there's a lot of splash or there's just a lot of damage within that area. So as you can see, dropping a poison here on the enemy queen and going ahead and freezing her up because there wasn't really many troops to go ahead and take her out. And my queen is going to go ahead and start walking down this top right side of the base. And so what I'm going to do is put down those saved wizards that I had and really just snipe off the rest of those resources there at the top. And that is a solid loot raid right there. As you can see, over 700k in both gold and elixir and over 7,000 in dark elixir. So that's a solid raid. Let's go ahead and do some live attacks and see what we can come up with. Alrighty guys, it is time for some live attacks, so let's go ahead and get into it and see what we can find here, and hopefully we can get some good loot so that way we can go ahead and upgrade some buildings here at the end. That'd be ideal. And alright, so this just isn't really what I'm looking for. I'm really shooting for that over 500k mark when it comes to getting loot. So let's see what we can find, and we're just going to keep going through the clouds here to see what we can come up with. And so this is a pretty good one. As you can see, over 500k in both gold and elixir and 4,000 in dark elixir as well. So what we're going to go ahead and do is scope out the best way to enter this base. And because I want to go ahead and snipe that dark elixir, but I think entering from the top and maybe jumping into that compartment there might be our best bet. And what I'm going to do is actually just go with our gut here. And, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So, let's go ahead and put that down. And let's go ahead and put these giants in as well. And let's go ahead and put this warden down there as well. And, okay, let's go ahead and drop down the heroes. And what we're going to go ahead and do is drop down these two baby dragons. Start funneling in some of these extra troops. Funneling a lot of these wizards here. Oh, I just popped my AQ ability. That is super unfortunate, honestly. But nonetheless, I think it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down this rage, heal, and a jump. And what I'm going to do is poison this queen and freeze over here as well, just because that's a lot of damage there. And what I'm going to do is heal here again, just because hopefully these troops walk in to the core of that base and go ahead and snipe out some of that dark elixir. So let's go ahead and drop another heal here just to make sure we can go ahead and get into that. And it looks like my queen's taking a decent amount of damage. It's unfortunate I did take her ability away so early in the raid, but nonetheless I think she'll be okay. We've already got a ton of loot, pretty much all of it. I'm gonna go ahead and rage my king here, and let's see what we can make out of this. So let's see if we can get some more loot, really just squeeze out all of the dark elixir. I'm trying to find where that last pump is. It looks like it's at the top, and there's one in top. There's both of them are on the top two compartments there. So maybe, alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and freeze this because I need to keep my queen alive. This is the super unfortunate part where she did unfortunately lose her ability. And so what I'm going to do here is actually wall break in, hopefully distract a little bit, and okay, boom. So we look like we might be able to go ahead and get that top compartment there with some of those resources, and it doesn't look like we have any troops remaining, but the queen is doing a ton of work. The king is alive, possibly, not very likely, but possibly a 3-star here, which could be really sick. considering that I did have to burn my queen ability so early on upon the raid. But 45 seconds, a lot of, like, wow. So this is a heck of a way to go ahead and start out the live attacks here, is by getting out a 3-star and really just crushing this base here. And that just shows you this strategy absolutely works. And I don't even have close to a max lab for a Town Hall 11 nor max heroes. I have a max queen, but that's about it. So that's a pretty solid raid to start things off. Let's go ahead and prepare for our next live attack. Alrighty, that was a pretty solid haul on that last raid. Over 500k and over 4,000 in Dark Elixir. Let's go ahead and see what we can find on this next raid. Not too fond of that base. Let's go ahead and see what else we can find. Not quite enough gold or elixir, but that is a solid amount of Dark Elixir. Let's go ahead and keep searching and really just see what we can find here. It's usually pretty easy to find bases with a decent amount of loot, such as this one. And okay, so this is alright, so it looks pretty dead, and the reason you can see that is because both of the Infernos are both dead. So I guess the biggest question here is where do I really want to attack? And I definitely want to snipe off those Dark Elixir collectors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and attack pretty wide. And so I'm going to go like this and put the wall wrecker more on the top side. Going to go ahead and put the baby dragons pretty wide. And let's go ahead and drop down some of these healers. And just go ahead and drop down both of the heroes and the warden over here. It looks like some of the giants are splitting away, but let's see what we can do. Alright, so this is gonna be an interesting one. This is what I had to fear just because of how this base is really set up. And what I'm gonna do here is just drop a jump across the middle, go ahead and freeze and poison that. And okay, so this is what we're gonna do, is we're gonna go ahead and drop another heal closer to that queen. It looks like a lot of those giants are taking a ton of damage, which is not great, but I think we'll be okay. Just drop the okay, giants are still taking a ton of damage. Gonna try to heal them up. Oh, it looks like they're gonna go down. All right, so this top side of the base is doing pretty well. Gonna go ahead and hopefully wall break in there for the king. All right, what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and drop that wizard there. Go ahead and try to take out some of those. We still have the top side of the base, which is doing pretty well, and one freeze to work with. Healers are providing some support on the bowlers, which is awesome. And okay, queen is taking a decent amount of damage, and she's not gonna walk out of range, which sucks, but it's okay. Gonna go ahead. All right, so we have 2 wizards. This is potentially another 3-star here. Gonna do my best to keep this queen alive. A little bit early on the freeze, but we have 1 archer as well. Let's see. So we've already gotten a massive amount of loot, and it looks like we're gonna go ahead and secure this here with this last archer. That's pretty much the last of the loot resources there. And okay, so we have 1 wall breaker to work with, really. And let's see what we can do here. Hopefully the queen doesn't get locked on because she is extremely low. And as some of these troops step up, I'm gonna go ahead and deploy this final wall breaker. And let's go ahead and drop that in right now. Got that in, okay. Hopefully some of those barbarians go ahead and step up on it. Alright, queen is doing work. Only really 1 bad defensive building remaining. And oh, the cannon's actually under construction as well. So that's gonna be back-to-back 3-stars with some huge loot. Wow, so that is honestly incredible. I'm really happy with the result from these attacks. Some absolutely massive loot. And boom, over 600,000, close to 700,000 on both Golden Elixir and over 8,000 on Dark Elixir. Literally insane. So that's awesome. Let's go ahead and that's going to be pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, please leave a like and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. Make sure you guys stay hydrated, drink that water, drink that coffee. I'll catch you guys in the next one.